I'm Jonathan Reed, TMO of the Enid Outlaws and General Manager. And today we have our Coach Spotlight with Head Coach Larry Lessette.
Well, first of all,
yeah, thank you for coming, man.
First of all, thank you for bringing me down here from Des Moines, Iowa. Obviously, you're trying to help me miss my wife because it's really cold today, and it's cold up in Iowa.
Yep.
I want to apologize to everybody that's going to watch this because sometimes Jonathan and I, we kind of know each other's thoughts ahead of time. So if we do something here and everybody's like, well, did they rehearse that? No, we didn't. Trust me, but we do think alike.
Yep. We just did that, actually, the intro.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, we've been very excited to have Coach Lessette here, to have his experience and his leadership to lead this young Outlaw squad. This is one of the younger squads we've had, in the history of our program. And so we needed a little bit of experience here to come in here and just kind of take these guys to where we want them to be. And I think we have an exciting group. We've seen some good and some bad up to this point, and now it's time to improve. So where do you think kind of we are as an organization, as a team, just as right now?
Well, the first thing I would say is that going back to our phone calls in October, you kind of laid out your vision. You had shared with me the research you had done on me, and vice versa. And like you mentioned on one of maybe it was the second phone call, you felt like we connected.
Yep.
And I think for our fans here in Enid and around the city, Jonathan had a different plan. I would call it from your previous times, and we talked about it extensively. He wanted to see if I was on board with that, and which is actually what one of the things that got me interested. That being said, if I can do it very briefly, he wanted a quality person that was younger, that had an upside. Jonathan made it very clear. He goes, I'd like to win the championship, but it's more important to me, this is how Jonathan worded it to me, that I move players, that I want them to move on. I'm willing to deal with games aren't officiated properly and so forth, but I want us to get better. So back to your original question, and I think you'll probably agree with this, I think organizationally, and I'm speaking of you and I, we're probably further ahead than where our guys are at this point, but we've seen some leapfrogging, I think would be probably how I would say it. We've seen some leapfrogging.
Exactly it. Where we are as a team is different than where we're thinking as an organization.
Yeah.
And so we've made some huge leaps. We've made some roster changes recently to add some height and some size to our roster, which I think are really going to help us with the Twin Towers, and we added another couple scorers. But we're going to continue to grow on the court. But I think we got the right type of people and the right mix. Tell us about a couple of our guys that you think are the right type of guys that we think we can move on this year. Just name a couple.
Well, I would start with Mike Bibby, and I think he's somebody. And again, if you give me a couple minutes, we all know how long-winded I am, okay? If the players were here, they'd be like, oh, this interview is going to take
that's why you're by yourself, Coach. So people had two people, and I put you by yourself. So, you know what I mean? It's just me and you in here.
But I think we start with Mike Bibby Jr., and I want to share with everybody about your vision, because I want them to understand your vision, okay? So it was easy for me to as I tell the players, stay in your lane, fall in place.
Right.
Mike had 2 serious knee injuries in college. And yeah, his last name should get him jobs.
Sure.
And Jonathan, for everybody, all our viewers, he wanted to take a chance. He wanted to give this kid an opportunity. Now, in our talking and so forth, so I'm like, yes, Mike Bibby is available. Now, the way he has played, his leadership, the way he runs the team is very stable and it's very calming. So Mike is somebody that our owner, Jonathan Reed, wants to move forward. You know, we want the city of Enid to enjoy him for one season and move on. And he fits what Jonathan's plan is. And that's all I'm trying to really get across. Okay,
Perfect.
is that it was your plan. I want to talk about KT.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted KT is a young man that played very well against us in the exhibition game. And he kind of had and again, this is one of Jonathan's fortes. It's one of his strengths. He tries to give people an opportunity that are good people, that really sincerely are chasing a dream. And KT will get an opportunity to start. And he just fits again what our model. And when I say model, because I wouldn't have accepted the job if I didn't buy in, but he fits our model. We do, and it's not a two-man team by any stretch of imagination. We do have other players,
Sure.
but I think, and I might be jumping ahead of Jonathan's questions, but we have to do a lot of training, and training's different, everybody, from practice. When we have team practice, it's completely different than the individual work. And I do want to say, and I've said it at practice, and Jonathan will say on my behalf, I don't say something I don't mean. I mean what I say. Jonathan has been helping me at practice because we've had a situation, unfortunately, I'm by myself, and it really has made a difference. And so the next phase of what our organization plan is to start being able to do player development and try to accelerate these young men's skill level so that it gives us wins, but it goes back to Jonathan's plan that they can move on.
That's exactly what it is, and I'm glad you said that because you're the mad scientist. You figure out how to put it together and make the plans and all that stuff, and the X's and O's, you handle all that. I just like to put a little sugar on it, make it a little bit better, and that goes to exactly the plan. Player development has to be the focus of what we do. It has to be that way. That no matter what, when players come and they leave our organization, they're going to get something out of it because they're going to get better while they're here. That brings us to our facility. While we made the decision to move them back to El Reno, which we are back in our facility there to train, that means we come up here to Enid a couple times a week, and we're practicing in our facility here and being in the community.
Right.
All those things come in place, or come to put the pieces together to be a complete player.
Right.
And I think we do a very good job of that, tag teaming that.
Yes.
But we'll be adding some members to our staff, which will be announced at some point during the season, to get you some help, and some other things. But we've been really pleased with what you've done so far by yourself, just to put it all together and put the show on the road, And we think that we made the right choice in bringing you in to be our head coach and to lead us for the season. And so the guys are really coming together. If we were just going to look at it from where we started a couple weeks ago to right now, we've made huge leaps.
Right.
I mean, we've made some serious gains here. And let me ask you this: what would you say that our strength as a team would be right now?
And if you don't mind, I want to make a shout out to not just the organization, but to our players. Mm-hmm. To everybody that's watching this, Jonathan and Sherry have put on a youth camp, and I would really highly recommend the next time they have a camp that we get 50 to 100 kids in there. The kids in there have been really, they've really improved. And the reason they've improved is because our players do the teaching and coaching.
Yeah.
And
great job.
And it's kind of funny if you watch, because they mimic me at times, okay? And that can lead me back into answering your question, because the parents have come up and asked me, and I let them watch practice, and they've asked the same question: what's your greatest strength? And I think it's two, and I think that's a tribute to you and Billy for picking the players. Mm-hmm. I know you allowed me to assist a little bit, but again, and I want everybody to understand this: this is a team. When we say team thing, we really mean this. This is a team thing.
Oh yeah,
all of us.
We talk all the time about everything.
So here's the thing: our two greatest things, I think, is a very competitive group. They want to compete at everything, even to the point of sometimes I have to check them because they go overboard. And then I think the other thing that's a real positive, and it goes back to Billy and it goes back to yourself, is it's a very camaraderie. They actually like each other.
Yeah.
Even though if you come at if you, what some people would think the
Practice.
wrong time when they're getting after each other, and it gets very intense, but they like each other, and I think that it's early in the season. Jonathan and I both have said we're a very young team, but it's a different team. It's a different team than what's been here in Enid, and I think those are our two greatest strengths. Would you agree?
I definitely would agree. I definitely agree. We got good guys that want to be a part of the group. They want to be a part of they've been compliant. They've worked hard. And like you said, in practice, you're competing against other guys for playing time and everything else. You might walk in and be like, man, these guys, I don't know.
Right.
But after that, they're slapping five. They're taking care of each other in the facilities. They're covering each other, out eating together. They're doing things together, which is amazing.
Right.
We just recently had some youth basketball games. They'll go together and hang out and do some things. And that's important. I think that's an important part of the brotherhood that some of the players need. And that's part of the players of having that chemistry to grow as an organization.
And I would just like to say, and I'll do it quickly because of your past experience of playing in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
As an American, when you board the plane to go across the pond, if you don't see it as a privilege and an honor and fit in, then unfortunately you're going to be on the next plane coming home.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think, and Jonathan can give me a lot of credit, but the truth is, and this is important to all our viewers to understand, when that's Jonathan's forefront, but that is his vision, okay, and then calls me on the phone and talks to offer me the job. That's why it's important that everybody stays in their lane, because Jonathan doesn't want someone coming home.
That's
Jonathan
right.
wants to be able to have someone molded in the 4, 5, 6 months, whatever we're together, that they leave and they give him a Christmas card and say, thank you, brother.
Yep.
So this is a complete package. It's not just let's win some games and let's do this. It's a complete package. And I just would like all our fans to understand what you do there.
Thank you.
And I mean that.
Because I have to.
And you know that because you know me.
Yeah. I have to interrupt your practices sometimes when I come in, or you're like, hey, you got anything? And I'm like, I don't like to say much, but then that's when I come in with that. And I always talk to the guys about, that kind of stuff, being professional, how to move their careers forward, little things and little details that I've experienced throughout my career that will help them. And you're right. Every time I flew over there and I would go play another season, and I'd be on that plane and I'd be talking to my mom or whoever else I was talking to before I got on, I really was thankful that I had the opportunity to go play another season.
Right.
I was thankful to have another opportunity to go. And so many times, even in our organization, we've got guys that feel like, we owe them something,
Right, entitlement.
Entitlement, and that's been a big thing in sports, professional sports down to the youth.
Right.
That's been a big thing. Well, and these guys that we have right now, the core group that we have, they've really been better about that. They haven't seemed like a big entitled group, and I think that makes it a lot more fun for us to do our jobs, to pour into them, to help them get to the next level. Would you agree?
Believe it or not, it's going to be one word answer coming from me.
Okay.
I agree.
Hey, did y'all get that on camera right there? Did you get that? Because that doesn't happen all the time. Y'all got the one word answer? All right, there we go. So but we appreciate it and the type of guys we got, and I'm glad we're able to work with these guys. They've been a pleasure, and we continue to we think we're going to have a great season this year and continue on. One thing, just as far as our fans, okay, I always give a shout out to the fans because I think we have some of the best fans, some of the loyal fans. What have you think, and what have been your experiences up to this far with our people and our fans?
Well, I got to make it a little broad,
okay,
because you've had me all over the state. Okay,
all right.
I'm trying to remember off the top of the only time I'd been in Oklahoma, I was coaching at Western New Mexico, and we played Panhandle State.
Oh yeah, way up in the
Panhandle. It's the only time I'd been in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jonathan, everybody has had me down here, I think 6 months now.
Yep.
And I was out in Elk City with our Western Oklahoma Bulls.
Yep.
And, our practice facility is El Reno. And then I've come up here. I love the people of Oklahoma. I think I think they're the most sincere people that I have ever met, and I'm very, very sincere. It's like the gentleman that brought food today. I mean, he was telling me, "I'll take care of you. I'll take care of your grandkids. You want barbecue chicken? Just come. I've got you."
That's how it's
that's the way I've been treated. And I want to make one other shout out, because I don't think I'll probably get a chance to say this again, and it's a big deal to me. But I love the parks here in Enid.
Oh, yeah.
I love the parks.
Yes.
And if everybody would know, I've got a Rottweiler and a mix, and love to walk them. And I went yesterday to Meadow Lark Park.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked. And I just love the parks there. I really, and I'm very sincere, not because I'm the coach, and I really love Enid.
It's great.
I really do.
It's great. We moved here. We've embraced it here. I'm the head high school coach here as well, and do some things and teach here. And let me tell you something. That's a great shout out. The city does a great job of taking care of their facilities and providing things. People now need to get out. Now they need to get out. Need to get out to the games. Need to get out to the stuff at the Stride Center.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different acts and different things coming through here. There's constantly things coming in here in Enid, and just need to get more people out now to it. So in our games, going back to our games, like our games are very exciting. If you like basketball, if you don't like basketball, there's still something to enjoy. We got entertainment, music, all kind of other games, stuff like that. We got Rocky out there acting crazy and running around with the kids. And so we have a lot to offer, and that's one thing I would like to be more widely spread about our organization. Come to the games, have fun. That's what we want right now. We want a fun environment for the community. I mean, the tickets are inexpensive, and just come out there with the peeps and just have a good time.
Right.
And so, Coach will be over there yelling at our players, making sure they take care of their stuff on the court, and Sherry and I'll be making sure everything's going good off the court. And but that's it. So, would you have any advice to anybody as far as wanting to get into coaching or wanting to join our team even? What kind of players we're looking for even for in the future? Because every single year we're going to get new guys.
Right.
So right now, if you're wanting to be an Outlaw next year, what should you be doing right now?
What I would do, usually it's like contact the coach, right? Mm-hmm. But what I would do is I would contact you or Billy first. Yep. And it's kind of like how we've operated anyway. Yep. Okay, you and I.
Yes.
And I would not try to sell myself, but I would just say I'm interested. And, again, for our fans and everybody that's listening, and I don't say this, in a flippant way, but I'm down here by myself. I live in a house that the organization has provided, and we have no problem doing basketball 24 hours a day. And what I would do if I was a player, I would ask, could you work with me? And I think, and I think, Jonathan, I didn't talk about this, but I do want to shout out to the Western Oklahoma Bulls, because I'm proud of being 14-3. I'm proud of being the second seed, especially after you bringing me down and what we dealt with. And so if I was a player, I would contact, can you work with me and develop? And what can I do? Let's say we're in March. Let's just say from May until next September. That's what I would do, and develop a relationship and show my character, and kind of go from there.
That sounds great, and that's exactly what we're going for. We have different programs that we lead up to this: tryouts, combines, all kind of things. Yeah. But quality of person, getting yourself set up. Like, this is what I tell my guys to be professionals: set up your life to be a professional athlete if that's what you want to do.
Right.
That's what I've always done. I didn't get car payments and all these things when I was playing professionally, because at any moment I would have to drop things and go to Europe.
Right.
So I always set up my life to just basically be a professional athlete, and my family understood that, and my family, that's how we lived. Right. And so, I see a lot of guys now, we talk to them, we talk to guys all the time and say, hey, how's this going to work? And their lives are not set up to be professionals.
Right.
So now, that's what I would like to reiterate to some of these young guys that want to be a part of the organization. Set up your life, be in shape, keep honing your skills, and be in professional basketball opportunities like tryouts, combines, things like that help your case. You
Right.
know, a lot of guys just go play pickup or do whatever, and that really doesn't help you as much as putting yourself in front of a whistle, putting yourself in front of eyes that can potentially help you be a professional.
Right. And that's why I will go back, just again putting a plug for our philosophy, and that is the player development's important, because there's a reason why parents will pay a ton of money for swimming lessons, for tennis lessons, for basketball
That's
lessons.
Right. That's right.
Because you're trying to get a competitive edge. And I think the point you made about being professional, you know, maybe you need to work an 8-hour day job, but if you really want to play professional basketball, there's got to be certain sacrifices that you make, and it's just the way it is.
100%. Well, we're very thankful to have you, Coach.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with our fans or our viewers before we go?
Yeah, you know, when I first walked in the Stride Center, I was just like, wow, the building is just like, wow, it was kind of breathtaking. So I would just like to ask our fans, when they come out to our first game, that they make it a real home court advantage. And the one thing I can say, I said it today on the radio, we're going to play harder than the other team, and we might not always play smart, and I'll try to keep my composure, but I really honestly, and I think you can vouch for me on this, because you've seen me now, you know, like 20 games.
Yeah.
The way we play is fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's easy on the eyes, because we're going to play hard. I'm not going to say we just play fast, but we play what I would say entertaining basketball. And I think going back to my original point, which you concurred with, is that this team is very competitive. And I think that that's enjoyable. And I think it's a team that the community, and they've started to get behind it. If you get behind it and you're crazy at the game and you make a difference, it'll make a difference, you know, for us in the win-loss column.
Good, thank you. Well, now you know your part when it comes to the fans. You know what your part in this is, and that's to come out, be crazy, have fun, yell, whatever it is, be positive, have that positive energy at the game, and be here. I mean, that's the thing, is like, we love the online viewers that we have. We've had a pretty good online presence with our games being viewed, and we appreciate that for sure. But we like bodies, you know, we like butts in the seats. We like you to be here and fully experience the Outlaw experience. And so thank you guys for the ones that viewed, and thank you for the people that are watching this right now. We're so lucky to have the coach here and everything else, and a great team this year. Come out and please support us, and we won't let you down. We'll come out here and put on a show for you. You'll have a great time, and bring as many people as you can. Got anything?
Nope, just thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to our home opener.
That's it. Go Outlaws.